Listen, can you hear it? The clatter of bowls, the seller calling the price of fish, the scent of citrus and smoke mixing in the air. What if I told you that every sound in this market is also a sentence in a story about who a community has been and who it wants to become?
In today's episode, we're exploring Khmer New Year, how a 3-day celebration of time, water, and renewal carries centuries of memory and hope for Cambodians everywhere. We'll walk through its origins, the way families prepare and celebrate, and what these rituals reveal about how Cambodians understand community, change, and starting again.
Welcome to Ancient Echoes, where we listen for history in everyday practice. I'm your host, Samnang Bradley. Joining me is my co-host, Rachana Solv. Today's 1-hour journey will take us from riverside markets to family kitchens, tracing how ingredients, recipes, and market rhythms keep Khmer culture alive across generations.
What this reveals is that food is never just food. It's technique, memory, economy, and social contract. Over the next hour, we'll explore 3 big sections. First, the historical roots of Cambodia's food systems and key ingredients. Second, how food structures ceremony and social life, and how markets function as cultural classrooms. And third, how change and continuity travel with people across cities and borders. Let's unpack that.
Section 1. Roots and Ingredients. To understand Cambodian foodways, start with water and rice. For centuries, lowland rice irrigation and seasonal flooding shaped what people grew and how they lived. Riverine fisheries and freshwater ponds were just as central. Fish were a daily source of protein long before refrigeration and long-distance trade. Markets emerged around these resources, not as mere places to buy, but as hubs where knowledge about planting, catching, preserving, and cooking was exchanged.
Rice is more than starch in this context. It's the anchor of communal calendars and agricultural knowledge. The varieties of rice, the timing of planting, the methods for soaking and pounding grain, these are encoded techniques passed down in family lines and among neighbors. The same goes for freshwater fish. The ways to clean, to ferment, to salt, to smoke. These practices store environmental knowledge about seasons, water levels, and ecosystems.
When we look at ingredients, we see stories. Take lemongrass, a plant that perfumes soups and pastes, and also marks kitchen gardens where medicinal and culinary knowledge overlap. Or crowing, the aromatic spice pastes built from pounding galangal, turmeric, lemongrass, and lime leaves. Each family and each region has its version. That variation is itself a living archive, trade routes, and local tastes.
The techniques encode knowledge, too. The rhythm of the mortar and pestle, the order ingredients are fried, the temperature of a pan, all of that is tacit knowledge. Apprenticeship in the kitchen teaches listening, timing, and memory. These are cultural competencies that no single recipe card can capture. The layers matter. The way someone explains a step, listen for the sizzle, is how oral knowledge is transmitted.
Section 2. Food, Ceremony, and Market Ecology. Food structures life cycle moments, weddings, house blessings, seasonal festivals, all of them organized around shared meals and specific dishes. Offerings and communal plates signal belonging and care without requiring doctrinal detail. What's important for our conversation is how these practices bind families and communities together across time.
Consider festival foods, special preparations that appear only at certain times, sticky rice molded in new ways, savory stews with ceremonial names. Preparing these dishes often involves multiple households, with roles handed down by gender, age, and relationship. That division of labor is the social fabric of a market town. Women and elders set recipes. Younger members fetch supplies and learn the steps. That's the heart of the matter, how social roles and culinary knowledge co-evolve.
Markets themselves are living curricula. Vendors teach customers about seasoning levels, preservations, fermentations, and the right fish for a particular soup. Language is passed through bargaining phrases, jokes, and the names of small things, local herbs, seasonal fruits. You learn more than prices at a stall. You learn a vocabulary for living in that place.
And the social role of vendors goes beyond commerce. Many vendors are knowledge holders, elders who remember old recipes, migrants who adapt dishes from other regions, women who manage household sustenance and community feeding during ceremonies. Apprenticeship often happens informally, watching, imitating, being corrected gently. Listen closely to that correction. It's where continuity survives change.
Section 3. Change and Continuity. Cities, long-distance trade, and migration have reshaped marketplaces and kitchens. New ingredients arrive, some traditional techniques become rare, yet continuity travels with people. The diaspora keeps certain recipes alive as acts of memory, rice cakes made in small apartments, fermented pastes preserved in jars for long voyages, potlucks that recreate festival menus far from home.
What matters is adaptation without erasure. Families tweak seasonings when ingredients are missing. They substitute local fish or herbs while preserving a dish's role in a life cycle event. That resilience is how culinary memory persists. The pattern shows us that identity is maintained through practice more than through exact replication.
There are responsibilities for listeners who want to learn more or visit. Ethical engagement means centering local voices, supporting community-led preservation projects, and avoiding fetishizing food as spectacle. If you travel, seek out family-run stalls, ask about a dish's story, and consider how your presence affects livelihoods. Small gestures, buying from a vendor, listening to an elder's explanation, sharing a recipe with credit, help sustain living traditions.
We also encourage non-extractive listening. Collect stories with permission, credit those who share practices, and donate time or funds to local cultural organizations rather than exploiting traditions for content. The research tells us that stewardship and reciprocity are the right path forward.
Audience engagement and resources. We want to hear from you. What market sounds or family recipes connect you to memory? Share a short note, a photo, or a voice clip. We'll feature select stories in a future episode and add them to a growing oral archive. For visuals, check Samnang's YouTube channel for short market walks and recipe demos that accompany this episode.
Recommended readings include community-centered ethnographies and cookbooks written with local contributors. Support local organizations that document markets, help sustain small producers, and teach culinary skills to young people. We'll link to these in the episode notes so you can explore safely and respectfully.
Recap. Today we followed the threads of water, rice, and market life to see how Cambodian foodways carry memory through ingredient choices, technique, ritual roles, and the networks of people who keep recipes alive. The deeper story is, everyday meals are cultural archives, accessible if we approach them with humility and attention.
If this conversation moved you, please follow Ancient Echoes on your favorite podcast app and share this episode with someone who cares about food, history, or heritage. We'd love to hear your market memories. Tag us on social media so we can listen and learn together. The layers matter, and every story helps complete the picture.
Don't forget to visit the show notes for links to readings, community groups, and Samnang's visual guides. And please consider supporting small initiatives that document and teach traditional foodways.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Ancient Echoes. We hope these stories helped you see Cambodian history and culture in a deeper, more human way.
The echoes of the past live on in people's voices, memories, and everyday lives. Thank you for listening and for making space for these stories. Let's unlock the echoes of history together.
Until next time, thank you for listening to Ancient Echoes.
quiet of night, I whispered my plea, holding her close, hoping for her decree. I called upon spirits, asked them to guide, to take her heart and lead her by my side. So I drew her near, traced her brow so fair, my sight this way. Sacred power, Swahai, mighty spirit awakened. By the master's right, let her heart be gently taken. Let her follow me now by vow and by sign. I hear these words, oh teacher, witness this plea. Oh, my sacred power, Swahai.